It is Albuquerque Real Estate Talk, episode 547, mid-August 2025. Tracy, here we are again talking about real estate in Albuquerque.
Yep.
What do you have for us this week?
We have an open house today on a really great house in the Northeast Heights on Merino Place from 5 to 7. So if you're interested in that, give us a jingle. We can tell you more about it. The address is 10516 San Marino Place, Northeast, in the 87111 zip code. It's a really unique home with a split level kind of floor plan.
Yeah.
Very nicely updated. So if you're interested, it's open today. But of course, you can call us and we can show you houses privately anytime. We have some open houses, and we have one story we want to talk about.
Well,
just in general,
yeah, just kind of
how's the
market in Albuquerque mid-August 2025. Generally, this time of year, we start to see a little bit of slowdown in the sense of just not as much activity, back to schools happening. A couple things that I've seen over the last few weeks in the data, and then you can tell me what you're seeing in just feet on the street.
Sure.
And what I'm seeing in the data is the number of homes on the market has plateaued. So we generally see an increase in the number of homes on the market, and usually it continues to increase through August and into September, but it's plateaued now. There's not as many people listing their homes. There's about 2,000 homes on the market, give or take any time in the Albuquerque area, which is up from last year quite a bit. But like I keep saying, we're still less than that 2019 level pre-pandemic.
Right.
But that's like 5 years ago now. Can you believe that? 5 years ago.
It's interesting because the story that I want to talk about is about the foreclosure rate in our market. And it's interesting that you would say that because, Sam, maybe you could show us the chart in this story, the mortgage stress check. So July shows New Mexico's housing market is outpacing the U.S. average in the mortgage performance, home price stability, and low foreclosure activity. But if you look at the chart that we have on the screen, if you're online, you can see that at the beginning of COVID, delinquency rates jumped up, and now we are significantly low historically.
Well, and let's break this down, because a lot of times these terms, delinquency, foreclosure, get used interchangeably, but they're very different things.
They are.
So delinquency is, are people able to make their payments? And so
are they late?
Yeah. And so I wrote this blog. I pulled the data from International Exchange, or ICE, which has like this huge database of all the mortgages in the country. They know, they can see in real time what's happening with mortgages in our country. And the national delinquency rate right now is 3.35 around the entire country. So that's with people with a mortgage.
Right, which is way below pre-pandemic levels.
Correct.
Right.
So what would be considered normal, and they have a chart where they compare it to the years prior to, so like 2003, 4, 5, back then, right? Kind of a normal level.
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah, and they're saying a normal level is somewhere around 4 to 4.5% would be normal. We're at 3.35 right now. And a very important distinction, though, is that's of people that have a mortgage are either 30, 60, or 90 days behind.
So what you're saying is there's a huge number of people, especially in our area, that have no mortgage. They own their home free and clear.
Yeah, like last year I did a deep dive into that and looked at all 300 and some thousand homes in the Albuquerque area. And I found that somewhere around 40% of homeowners have zero mortgage, free and clear, as we call it, right?
I met with one this morning who's thinking of selling their house, but not until January. I was so proud of them, Tego, because they're talking now. I went and toured their house with them now about what to do to be ready to go when they're wanting their house sold. So anyway.
And I want to just bring in this kind of mortgage stress test again back into the New Mexico context. And if you're looking at online, this chart is very, there's a lot going on here. It's full of data. It's 51 states. It includes D.C. So it's 50 states plus Washington, D.C. And it's showing what the delinquency rate, what the foreclosure rate is, and then what the total non-current, as they call it. So that combines delinquency plus foreclosures. So in New Mexico, Our delinquency rate is 2.9. Our foreclosure rate is 0.5%, and that puts us at 3.3 overall. Remember earlier we said 3.35 is national for delinquency? Well, New Mexico, it's only 2.9. So we're actually below the national average.
So when I see 0.5% in the foreclosure process, that means 1 in 200 homes.
Correct.
So we're sitting
With a mortgage.
With a mortgage, right?
Yeah, you got to keep that in mind because that's only 60% of the homes that are out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's actually 1 in 400 or whatever.
Yeah,
1 in 500.
And so the big takeaway in this conversation is, if you see, and I've seen these online, somebody pounding the table, making these big YouTube videos talking about how the FHA delinquency rate has skyrocketed.
Right.
Right. In
Percentage-wise,
yes, it has. The FHA delinquency rate has increased, but you have to put it in context of the entire market. And of course, they always leave that part out,
right?
Because it's not convenient for their narrative that
right.
the housing market's crashing. The big takeaway here, Tracy, is that the homeowners are in a very good place financially. Balance sheets are good. They have a lot of equity. They've got low mortgage rates. There's nothing out there that's going to create this like flood of people that are forced sellers like we had back in 2008, 9, 10, right? Where they were not able to keep making payments and either let it go to foreclosure or had to do short sale or something like that. So
right.
Anyway, it's just not that out there. It's not in the data, and we see that every day.
So feet on the street. So
Yes.
we started this with how's the market in general? What are
Right.
we seeing? What are we feeling? So feet on the street, we still see the nice homes that are priced well, selling fairly quickly. But the homes that are lingering on the market have generally started too high. They're seeing price reductions and they get like old listings, right? Buyers are like, well, that one's been on the market for 96 days. The buyer thinks, I can get it for a lot less now. I can make a much lower offer. Those sellers are going to be in desperate shape to sell their house. So my takeaway from someone who wants to sell their house is come out of the gate just right. Don't go too high for your house, for its condition, its location, and the amenities. You'll end up with probably a lower price than if you come out with the right price for the house.
Yeah, it's that same old thing we talk about over and over again in our business, which is it's location, of course, it's condition, and it's price.
Right.
And it's price based on the condition and the location. And the third piece that we talk about when we say, well, why homes aren't selling is the marketing piece as well. Has it been exposed? Has it been exposed properly to the market? And that's a whole nother thing. And that's what our job is
Right.
as realtors, is to make sure that happens. So
Right.
we do that a lot. Yeah.
So we have a team. We're Tracy and Tego Venturi. We have Venturi Realty Group of Real Broker. If you're thinking of questions that you wonder about real estate, or you're thinking down the road you're going to be a home buyer or a home seller, give us a ring. We'd be happy to get in early and help you have a good strategy in place. We have a team of great realtors that work with us that can specialize in working with sellers or working with buyers, or they do both. We're at 505-448-8888. Would love to chat with you and see how we can help you with your goals. Tego, we have a few other houses incoming soon.
So I have one that just came on the market. It's on 615 Los Arboles, which is in the North Valley. It's off of 4th Street, not too far from Old Town, Sawmill District, just north of the Manal and 4th Street area. The unique thing about this home, and I've got it up here on the screen, it's an older home that's had, I think of it as so many of the homes that we see in the North Valley where it's been added on a few times over the years for the family. It's got wood floors in the front room.
But it's got some great New Mexican touches. The wood ceiling, if you're online looking at it, the viga is the tongue and groove, maybe it looks like. But the other thing that's unique about this is it's about a half acre and it could be subdivided.
It could. The current owner did look into subdividing it so you could put 2 homes on this property. And these are full homes. These are not just ADUs or casitas, as we call them, or guest houses. You could subdivide it and build a whole nother home there. Again, you got to do the process. You got to check with planning and zoning and all that. I got to give those disclaimers. But it does look like it is possible.
And it probably could have an ADU on it if somebody wanted a small little guest house or something.
Absolutely. Let's just talk about that. You can have an ADU on any property in Albuquerque, Bernalillo County, or Rio Rancho with restrictions.
Right. There's setbacks and a requirement of maximum size compared to the house and the land and everything. So
Correct. Yeah. And ADUs are limited to about 750 square feet. So an ADU really is designed to be a guest house,
right.
Not a second complete residence.
ADU, accessory dwelling unit.
Right.
Okay, let's go to some coming soon. Some houses that are going to be hot and new on the market. 5217 Bogart Street Northwest. It's going to be $300,000. It's just over 1,200 square feet. We have 1512 Desert Paintbrush Loop, which is in Northern Meadows of Rio Rancho. A nice single story, 300,000. It's the story of 300,000 this week. We have about 5 new listings this week, right around 300.
It's interesting because median sale price in Albuquerque these days is around 370,000. So now these are well below that. So yeah, these are a good value.
The next one is not 300,000. It's 469,900, and it's 1501 Grand Boulevard, which is Rio Rancho, across from the Intel plant on those larger lots. Very updated, wonderful house. So all of these are going to be hitting the market. And if you want to know about these or any others, just give us a call and we can give you the full story or email you the details about it.
Can I do one more thing before we wrap for the week?
Okay.
I want to talk about home price and home price appreciation. In July, home prices year over year, depending on how you measure it, were either up or they were down or they were flat. And that's the thing I want to talk about.
Really, those 3 options, huh?
I know, because in part of it is because many times when things get reported, people don't quite understand the distinction between home values and home sale prices in median versus average and all that stuff. I know I'm getting weird here. But the thing I want to point out is in July of this year, the median sale price of all the homes that sold in the whole Albuquerque area is basically equal to down just slightly from July a year ago. So it gets reported as home prices are down or home prices are flat. But at the same time, the homes that sold in July this year are about 50 foot smaller than they were a year ago. So that's not accounted for. And of course, that's not in the headlines because it's too much detail. What I like to look at is price per square foot. And that's how much the home price has changed based on what the sale price is per square foot. And what we're seeing in our market is somewhere around 2% increase year over year. But that's not across the board. It's not every home. It's not every neighborhood. It's not every location. Like Rio Rancho is actually, home prices are down a little bit, where the city of Albuquerque, northeast Albuquerque in particular, is up a little bit. So it's depends on where you are and the home and all that stuff. So I just like to point that out because it's so difficult to give one headline of what's going on in prices, especially where in a market like this where the margins are very thin.
The changes are very thin.
The changes are very thin. And then one last thing, if you can pull the screen back up, Sam, I want to show you something that came out. This was also from the ICE report that we talked about earlier. And they rank, I think it's the top 100 markets in the country. And if you're looking at this chart, you'll see that what they do is they say home price appreciation year over year, and they're looking at July 25 versus July a year ago. And on this chart, Tracy, you can see the blue means that home prices have gone up. For the Albuquerque market, they're saying prices are up 3%.
year over year.
Yeah, Zillow says it's like 2.2% year over year. Again, it's not a lot, but it's going up. But the thing that's interesting about this chart, Tracy, if you look at the West and the Southwest in particular, there's really one market that stands out.
Albuquerque.
And that's Albuquerque.
Yep.
A lot of the other markets around the country, the West and Southwest, have seen declines where we've held steady. So I just wanted to point that out as well.
Good. Good job.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. If you want to reach out to us, we're the Venturi Realty Group, and you can reach our team at 505-448-8888. We're with Real Broker here in New Mexico. Take care.